Hi everyone and welcome to the Top Football Predictions Game Week 5 results entering into Game Week 6. I'm here, as always, with Atul Jani.
Hello there and welcome pundits. Let's get straight into it, Mark.
Yeah, let's get straight in. Game Week 5, mate, it wasn't, it didn't set the world alight, did it really?
No, it seems like it fizzled out from the previous week where it was a high scoring, nearly every man and his dog got like huge scores, but...
Yeah, it's like... it reminded me of, you send your predictions in, you wait for excitement as the scores come in. It's like when you're a kid and your dad goes to the end of the garden with a Catherine wheel firework and he lights it and we all stand back and you're like, and it just doesn't happen. It's one of those. But
mate, you've got issues there. Don't worry about that. Just let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
It's predictions we're talking about.
It's predictions. Let's get into it. So listen, there was some decent scores, not big scores, but who did what, mate?
Well, I think obviously we have to commend Lee for putting in a good performance, considering the week was pretty much tough.
75 points, fantastic, mate.
That's no mean feat, with the average game week point being 50 plus.
It was 50 plus, yeah, so that's good.
So he's above average. Then we got closely followed by Daniel and Craig as well. Mads, yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
look, and Akram.
There was as well. Akram's been having some recent form, which is good. It's come at the right time. Daniel, he's been plugging away there. I know Mads as well too. So and Craig also has been putting some good scores in. So these players I've just mentioned, they've got a mention because they deserve it in Game Week 5. But they're not the ones that always get the mention. They're not the ones at the top of the table at the moment, are they, AJ? But for what I'm saying here is, they're continuing to put some decent points on the table, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, and as I said, it's pretty close. Everyone's scoring there or thereabouts, and if you look at it, there's about 4/5 people in second place, only 5 points behind Lee on that game week. Otherwise, they could have won that game week. So, and then thereafter, there's about another 2 or 3 people on 65 points. So. It's tricky, it's a hard one to call, but it all builds up, and as we all know, towards the manager of the month, and we shall see.
We'll come on to that in a minute, but there were some 30-point games that people scored knocking around, but the big one was the Palace Stoke game, and whilst I don't think anybody got it absolutely bang on for 90 points, but
it was a tricky one.
Most 3/4 of the field, most of the team. Most of the players got 15 points from that game, so which is always
commendable. It's 15
absolutely.
points is better than nothing at the end of the day,
Absolutely. So as you were saying about the league table, we always have this now, don't we? Have the current and the up-to-date league table. Guide us through that on the what's the difference, mate?
Well, basically you've got the current table, the predictions current table, which shows the point scoring and the positions as they are.
And just before you go into the other league table, we've got Danny B leads the way on 430 points, but just listening to what you were saying there, not too far behind yourself, then Lee, then Charlie. So it's still quite, and Mads as well, still quite grouping up nicely, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I mean, even if you drop down till about the 8th position where Adam is, 95 points off the lead.
And he's doing well this season compared to last season, isn't
he? To be honest, you can get Manager of the Month award, or pick up even a sack race or something like that, and you're back in it.
Absolutely.
But that means I swiftly move on to the next table, which is including the bonus points. So whilst, for example, myself, I'm on 425
Indeed.
in current standings, as I unfortunately haven't got any bonus points to which this table would show, it accumulates any bonus points, sack races, manager of the month, blah-de-blah, blah-de-blah, to give you a live and current as it stands table. So that's factoring all the bonus points. So just swiftly going back, I've got 425 points. But then if you look at it, Charlie picked up Manager of the Month, so that 50 points catapults him up from 4th to second, so joint second at this stage. But you could see those bonus points pushes you up. So just as valid as the current table is, the end of season one is, I think, where a lot of people start getting their eye, because it's where the cash is. The dash for the cash, I normally call it.
Dash for the cash. That's where it is.
So that's
He's
briefly an overview of that. So yeah.
Great stuff. And you alluded on to the old Manager of the Month, didn't you? Of which I think his game weeks 4 to 6 is the second Manager of the Month, which Charlie won the first one, and game weeks 1 to 3. But with one game week to go, This is all to play for as well, isn't it,
Yeah.
mate? We've
Well,
got
well,
Dan B on 220, just
Yeah.
5 points back his lead following his very nice points accumulation of game week 5. You've got Danny C and Akram, 195, 180 respectively behind. So, you know, if you look at the spreadsheet, you guys, what's being sent out, there's a kind of collection of players just behind Danny B ready to pound. So anything really can happen, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, you just need to get a good game week and it can catapult you up the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and remember, there's always points on to play for, and you get those points, you're on the board, you're moving up that table. So,
Oh, yes. Now, to move up the table, they need to score points. How are they going to get them? What's coming up in game week 6, mate?
well, it's an interesting one. You've got the early kick-off on Saturday, so pundits, don't forget to get your predictions in early and on time. Any predictions for the example, the Man United Leicester game, which gets received thereafter, i.e. 3 o'clock, will be considered null and void, so please
Yeah.
remember that.
Make sure you're on time. It's a big game, that one.
Oh, it is a big game, and you've got Jose Mourinho against Ranieri, so that's going to be a tasty one. We shall see how the current champions, as they stand, do.
Mate, what about Liverpool Hull? Because Liverpool, we all know how the sexy football of Liverpool, the Reds, you know, Anfield, but Hull have surprised almost everybody, including themselves, with they've got no players. We've said it before, no players this season, really. Certainly not got strength in depth. They've still got their temporary manager in charge, Mike Phelan, but yet they are pulling out wins and draws. They're doing well, mate.
They're doing well, but unfortunately, I suspect they will fizzle out, and it all depends on how Liverpool come to the party. What type of Liverpool are we going to get?
That's
Are we
right.
going to get one which will completely destroy a side? And when they do play that sexy football, that is very sexy indeed, or will they just capitulate and just be humiliated by Hull? So we shall see.
Yeah, sure. We've got Arsenal-Chelsea, which is the late Saturday game, and for top football prediction players like we are, it's a Super 6 game.
Yeah, Super 6 indeed.
Double points.
Double points available and up for grabs. Interesting one. Arsenal have been good recently. Chelsea just stuttered the other day, but they bounced back with an impressive victory in the cup.
EFL, yeah.
Yeah, EFL. So, you know, it's all to play for. Rivalry and bragging rights in London, etc., etc. We shall see. Yeah, I mean, another one which I picked out and thought was pretty much interesting is the Midlands derbies, the Baggies versus the Potters.
Yeah, I thought you might mention that one. I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because Mark Hughes really needs to pull his socks up with Stoke. But you know what? I thought Pulis was having a bit of a rough ride, but I think they've got some. I think they've got something about them. Rondon up front. I think they can get goals. So I don't know how that's going to go. They've both got good keepers up.
Yeah, good keepers. It's a derby as well. Don't forget.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be very tasty.
Potters, yeah.
Very, very good derby. And do you know what? I would never, ever, 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 and ever again underestimate Stoke City.
You would never do that, would you, mate?
No, you write them off at your peril.
Of course you do.
You write them off at your peril. As much as Baggy's got a good victory, I expect this one to be a close one.
The only two things we can give away this weekend in game week 6, because don't forget as well, I'm just about to come on to the cup draw that's going to be made after game week 6. The only two things are certainty is that West Ham, Southampton, well, West Ham at home will leak about 4 goals, you know that every time. And with John Terry being down in London, make sure you stay close to your wives and your girlfriends, everyone. But yes, we must just touch on as well, we've got the old after game week 6. We've said before, because we've always needed an even number of players in the top football prediction season, every season. Whoever is at the bottom, and at the moment I think it's Mario, but anything can change. Whoever is bottom at the end of game week 6 will not qualify and make it into the group stages for the cup draw. And cup draw, we'll probably talk about that more next game week. But it's exciting. With those cup groups, it's going to run on for quite some time. You're going to get some good games, people up against each other, and
yeah, indeed. And one point to add here, just very quickly, is that whoever may be at the bottom of the table and be unfortunately fail to qualify for the cup competition, do not be disheartened, because at the end of the day, there's still plenty of points to be played.
And cash.
Throughout the season, so you may be able to adjust your thought and focus more on the league and get up that table.
Well, here's the thing, right? Mario's on the bottom at 235, but he's kind of been joined by Ricardo and 235. And you've got 35 points above. You've got Daniel, and then Danny A just a little bit more ahead. So, you know, it really. I mean, what's to say Mario and Ricardo couldn't put an 80 to 100 point game week 6 in?
And it's not impossible. It has been done. Let me tell you that.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you that. You know, you get 100 plus points. The other guys should really look behind their backs.
Well, when you say it's been done, I mean, if you look at it, we've got who's got the biggest game week? I think it's 190 points by Dan B, wasn't it, so far?
Yeah.
But I think you've got Mario's highest point so far is 50 points he's scored, and Ricardo equally scored 50 as well. So it's going to take for them two. It's going to take a best game week this season to, you know, scoring of points to kind of come away from that. But it certainly can be done.
Yeah,
equally, Daniel's in the mix, and he's only scored 70 as a best game week.
I would just bolt onto the back of what Mark said and basically treat it as your cup final.
Treat it as the cup final, guys.
Really play out of your skins for that one.
Absolutely. Well, listen, fun as always it is to do a quick predictions roundup for game week 5. Moving into game week 6, get your predictions over, have some fun with it, and good luck.
Good luck. In it to win it, guys.